Prater, I wonder how our listeners are processing tonight or will process tonight. It's not a huge basketball state in Idaho. We all know that. But there is an opportunity that this state has never had. And tonight, the University of Idaho will face Montana right downtown for the Big Sky Championship winner going to the NCAA tournament. And at the same tip time, Boise State will tip off against San Jose State from Vegas in the Mountain West tournament. They're going to have to win 4 games to go back to the NCAA tournament for the 4th time in 5 years. But a 2-bid 208. Idaho and Boise State, within reason, you guys have a shot at going to the tournament in the same year. How are you processing this? Be honest. Boise State fan, Idaho fan. I mean, is this the 1 year you're cool with rooting maybe for the other team? Because it would be sweet, right? To get both these teams in the NCAA tournament. Mike Prater, 2-bid 208. I want to know what people will think, and let me get rid of these hiccups real quick.
Yeah, you're so excited over there, you can't talk.
I don't know why that happens sometimes.
You know, you talk about the processing, and those are all fair, legitimate, smart questions, but I can promise you this, there's more people thinking about a real-life question than who's going to win these basketball games tonight. They're thinking, God, can I even stay up till 11:30 to watch the end of this game? How am I going to stay up till 11:30 tonight to watch one basketball game, let alone 2 basketball games? That's the question on everybody's mind. You know, everybody's trying to convince their better half, stay up and watch the game. We got to watch the game. You get your buddies together. We got to watch the game. And last night's game got over like at 12:02 because it started.
I left the arena after midnight, bro.
It was 12:02. I looked at the second the clock hit 0. It was 12:02. So it's a tough ask. Yeah. It's a tough call. Vandals can come through and make it happen. Vandals are tough people. They can make it happen a couple of nights in a row. Ball game. I'm going to say something stupid. I say something stupid every day, but in this particular case, it might even be accurate. The Vandals have a better shot at getting to the NCAA tournament than Boise State basketball.
It's not even close. Not even close. Idaho needs to win 1 game on a neutral site in its state against a team that, yeah, they are 0-2 against. Montana swept the series. Both games were within 10 points. Super close. Idaho needs to win 1 game or the crowd tonight. It will be. It'll be pro-Idaho. I know Montana does a great job traveling to this thing, but they will not outmatch Vandal Nation there tonight. Because I know there's going to be people who didn't go last night because of what you said. It's too late.
Yep.
But if they get to the championship, honey, you know, maybe we'll stay up. Maybe we'll get the kids a late start. I don't know, but I would imagine tonight's crowd is going to be even bigger. And hopefully Idaho, the women just went a couple minutes ago. They're cutting down the nets right now in that building. Could it be the double where Idaho does it later tonight by beating Montana? And I mean, you talk about sports wish lists for me. I mean, I certainly would have done Seahawks winning a Super Bowl. That's my number 1. And I already got that this year. Vandals going to the NCAA tournament. I mean, if you would have put that on the table for me to select my wish list of sports items, I would have picked it somewhere, but I would have laughed at you for even putting it on the table. And here we are, Idaho 1 win away. You'll hear from Alex Pribble a little later this hour. And are
we going to hear from Leon Rice too, or is this just a Vandal show?
No,
we're going to hear from Leon Rice in the update as well.
There's 2 games going on tonight.
Well, that's the point.
I've had to work my ass off to make sure that the Broncos get mentioned in today's show. You guys just want to go all Vandals.
No, I think that if you're like, I understand I'm coming at this from, you know, no dog in the fight, and it's easy for me to say this versus if you're a Bronco, if you're a Vandal, but wouldn't it just be cool to have the whole story really build to a climax? And not by no means would this become the biggest story in college basketball by the weekend, because there are a bunch of power conference tournaments that will be being played at the same time. But I do think this is a chance for the state of Idaho to pick up a little nugget on somebody's screen over the weekend. If Boise State gets to the semifinal or even the championship game in the Mountain West tournament, this could be something that gets included in the broadcast. And hey, all publicity is good publicity. You get a little 5-second plug from a CBS broadcast on Friday or Saturday about what could be on the line if Boise State is an AQ out of the Mountain West with Idaho already there from the Big Sky. I just think it would be good marketing, good, attention towards the state of Idaho, and we should all be rooting for that. So I understand that the petty bragging rights are always going to be a part of this thing, Vandal, Bronco, and maybe a little bit more for the older fans who remember the intense football rivalry that existed 20, 30, 40 years ago, however far you want to go back. But let's just have a moment for the state here. I mean, let's put the state above the schools, and it's not like these two teams are rivals on the basketball court anyway. And let's celebrate basketball in the state of Idaho, because you don't get to do it that much.
Greg, I mean, 208-424-9300. Open up the Taco Bell hotline. Guys, is that too much to ask for, what Greg just said?
We got people on the text line rooting for Montana. Like, what's going on?
I know. And I'm going to endorse that. I want that. I want a little bit of both, and I'll be rooting for both tonight because I'm kind of a neutral Idaho guy in this particular case. But I don't want hardcore Broncos to be rooting for the Vandals tonight. I don't want hardcore Vandals rooting for Boise State and vice versa. So I grew up watching this state hate each other, and hate's strong. There was a time, guys, and I'm not sure if you believe this, or maybe the listeners don't even believe it if I say it. There was a time when the basketball rivalry was a hell of a lot more intense than the football rivalry around here. Because Boise State was good and Idaho was good. And when in football, it was almost like when Idaho was good, Boise State was bad, and vice versa.
Always.
And so now you can get some of those battles between 88 and 93, 94 in terms of the basketball, what was going on. Boise State and Idaho played in basketball this year. They played 5 consecutive years from 2010 to 2015.
Think about that.
So the basketball part's got more teeth, more power to it. And I love the angst between Boise State and Idaho. If you're rooting for Montana tonight, I fully endorse that. If you're rooting for San Jose State, I don't fully endorse that tonight because I don't understand anybody rooting for San Jose State for anything. But I get it. And that's part of the angst, and that's part of what makes tonight's beautiful. And, yeah, at the end of the day, I personally hope that we get to bid 208. Greg, and you can put your marketing slogan on a T-shirt and make some money for this damn station. So maybe I can get a new chair in the studio here. We're all going to go out and buy a couple of cases of Blue Ice vodka and celebrate 208 and make the magic happen. So, but yeah, don't undermine the emotions in the state, the hate in the state. There are Vandals who will never root for Boise State under any circumstances, and vice versa. And we need to keep it that way for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, are you that person, and that's fine too? Or are you, it's a little different this time, and you tell us why it's a little different this time? Maybe you're like up there with Prater. You've been around the block a few times. You've never seen this. I mean, are you into sports showing you stuff that you've never seen before? I'm talking about people who followed the basketball programs in this state since the 70s, okay? Like, this has never happened. Even if you hate one of the schools, would you at least like to see 1 year where the two main flagships in this state go dancing, whether one's a 16 and Boise State will probably be a 12, 11, a 13 if they win the Mountain West tournament? And Idaho will be a 16, maybe a 15. We'll see. I don't know, man. Like, it feels to me like if I was in that boat, I would want to see this. I'm one of those guys as a sports fan. I like seeing things that I've never seen before.
Agreed.
Exactly.
In sports.
And if you're a native Idahoan, I mean, yes.
Craig, I'll ask you this. It'd be like you saying this. Would you be okay Temple and Villanova and LaSalle and St. Joe's, all 4 of those Philadelphia D1 basketball programs that get a lot of traction in Philadelphia? Like, if Temple's in, do you want the other 3 in just so you can say, hey, the 4 Philly schools all went dancing the same year? No, you hate the other teams enough where you don't need them to come.
Yeah, you got Drexel and Penn too. So there's a lot of them there. But yes, as far as, that was a thing for us. It was, and I think a lot of people kind of, because Villanova is a little bit outside of the metro, so people kind of feel certain ways towards Villanova, and they're kind of the rich, uppity, kids that go there. But yeah, I think there is kind of a one happy family environment with the Philly schools when we would be good in basketball at the same time. Hasn't happened in a while. And I just think it highlights your area. It really, at this time of year, there's a lot of schools and areas of the country that get attention through this tournament, March Madness, that we otherwise wouldn't really hear a whole lot about.
100%.
Or you hear about traditions within programs. Names become national names that were just regional names or just names in Moscow, Idaho, or Boise, Idaho. So it's a great opportunity. It's a great marketing tool. And this is a chance to shine light on the entire state kind of out of thin air here. I mean, we came in on Monday and just started spitballing this around in our meeting, and it's like, wow, has this ever happened? How cool would that be?
Yeah, we just threw it into the air, and now all of a sudden it's living.
It's kind of like the gradual build of this from Monday to Tuesday. Now here we are on Wednesday. We're still alive with it.
Come on.
Can we get to Friday? Can we get a whole week out of this on the air? Maybe I'm a little selfish.
All right, let's go. Dave in Boise, he says, never in a million years will I root for the Idaho Vandals.
Attaboy, Dave. Attaboy, Dave.
He says, I'm actually disappointed that we, Boise State, are even throwing them a bone with that future football game. Boise State is in a different class. Screw you, Idaho. Dave in Boise.
I like that. Now, I don't know how Boise State playing Idaho in a football game and kicking their ass is throwing them a bone, but you guys are a little bit misguided and warped. You're warped when it comes to the Vandal rivalry, but that's the hate that I appreciate and understand. Guys, I grew up in this state where Vandals hated Broncos and Broncos hated Vandals. Then I moved to Utah where Utes hate Cougars and Cougars hate Utes. There is no way you will ever catch me under any circumstances. If somebody came to me and said, Prater, I'll give you $1 million if you stand on a street corner and hold up a sign that says, go BYU, go. Not a chance in hell.
But hold on a second.
Not a chance in hell.
But those are two big programs that have had a lot of success.
I don't care.
You don't think that matters?
I don't care. No, it's about the rivalry. Broncos hate Vandals. Vandals hate Broncos. There's a gonna root for both tonight. Good for you. But if you're one of those staunch people, don't change tonight just for one lousy, stupid game. One lousy, stupid marketing slogan, 2-bid 208. I want it to happen. I think all three of us want it to happen, but I'm not going to sit here and disrespect the Vandal-Bronco rivalry that's full of hate, man.
Why is it that, and I'm just going off of the text we have, and Johnny, it sounds like you would have no problem rooting for Boise State the rest of the week if the Vandals win tonight.
I am rooting for Boise State this week.
So this feels like this is more Boise State fan telling Vandal, get off my lawn, you're not in my class, I don't care about you, than it is Vandal fan hating Boise State. I don't know, it feels like this is one way, and that's my thing. Boise State elite. Like, why are you barking down on? Like, I guess I know the answer. There's a history here that goes back 3, 4, 5 decades.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna. Rivalries are a part of sports, but so much so that we can't for once. This one cool thing that's never happened. Like, if this would have happened again, if it happens this year, and then in 5 years it might happen again. Don't root for it in 5 years. But like you said, Johnny,
you already saw it.
You get to see it once.
That's it. 208-424-9300. Prater, the reason, Greg's talking about, because Idaho did that to Boise State for like 60 years. So they looked down. You were a commuter school, truck driver,
State House, rules, laws.
All that. Like
State Board of Education.
Your average student, Boise, is 36. I can go on and on. I mean, all the jokes are there, and Idaho did that to Boise for a long time. Boise State getting dominant over Idaho in athletics has given Boise State the muscle now to give it back to them. I think that's part of it there too. And Vandal fans, it's just part of the rivalry, guys.
I also want to respond to No Name McGee on the text line. Says BSU hasn't even won a game yet, and they have to win 4 in a row. You are putting the cart way, way, way before the horse. Ridiculous. Talk about it. Listen, obviously there's a little bit of conjecture here, but this whole thing started with the fact that Big Sky was a few days ahead of the Mountain West anyway, and we started to think, well, the Vandals out of nowhere, the number 7 seed in the Big Sky tournament, are making a little bit of a run. And then having covered Boise State all year, we saw them start to play better, and we saw the bracket open up in a way, and BJ said it an hour ago when we had him on, that bottom half of the bracket, he thinks he's going to win the Mountain West tournament, and perhaps it comes down to the winner of Boise State, New Mexico, provided we get that game tomorrow night. So, yes, of course, we are, to some extent, putting the cart before the horse. But I don't think this is ridiculous to be talking about.
We don't read a lot of No Name McGee texts anymore, too, Greg, for that reason.
Well,
every single one.
texter?
It's one of those things where we really suck. This show's the worst, but luckily No Name McGee listens for 3 hours a day. We appreciate him.
Here's another more negative Vandal text coming in. But no one is taking a dump on Boise State. You know, it's just like it just seems like it's all.
The Vandal fans are ready for a game tonight. All right, their focus is on them, and it should be. They're trying to get to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 1990. Boise State tonight too. Both teams, guys, tip at 9:30. How cool is that? Are you ready? It's the biggest hookup night of the year. Are you ready to have an NFL game going along with your other type of game? Prater in the ball game, KTIK the ticket.
This is Ticket Traffic.
Earlier accident, he's on to the bull.